So I'm Sazar, I'm based in Perth, Western Australia, and my medium's, I guess, spray paint and whatever works at the time. Through graffiti, I started doing graffiti as 14 years old, and then I got into art through that. And my influences are predominantly probably every artist that was putting arts on the street at Perth at the time. TFC crew, definitely seen Dash and Poise and Shime around the productions, graffiti, streetworks was a big influence on me at the time. And then even guys like Delay was a big influence to me being younger, and guys like Tubes and that as well. So the journey was quite naturally. I knew like Shime and Poise through Monty's, and then just met them, and over the years we're just friends, and then became part of TFC, I guess. The energy of the scene, definitely, probably going back to when I started, say I started really 2000, the energy in the scene's a lot different. It's, graffiti was a bit more, shall we say, violent, and as such, like a lot more people were a bit more careful about where they're putting their art and going over people and such like that. I guess, yeah, now it's a bit different. It's a bit more, people are more chilled, and everyone sort of gets along a bit better, which is good. It's a bit more accessible to everyone there. The influence on my style was really just seeing what I like on the streets and taking that, and then, like definitely in the early years, was trying to emulate different artists and that, but then you sort of I just put all that together and then form my own style. I guess as everyone such does, like no one's style is really truly their own. Everyone takes influence from outside of graffiti or whatever. You take an influence from architecture, or the old arts and that, and it's all just a mix up. You chuck it in a big pot, stir it together, and then there you have it, your own original sort of style as such. And but taking on the energy, like it was definitely doing more sort of street works and that. The energy, it's very high tension, high pace, like we're watching over your shoulder, or what's happening, cop's gonna come by, or I just, someone coming past that's just gonna see you doing graffiti and be like, let's have a go, And sort of take that energy, and it sort of just adds fuel to the fire, really. It's that, it makes it exciting, It's all good sitting in the studio making art, more of what I'm doing now, sitting at home, painting at home. That's all good, but it's not that energy really puts fuel into wanting to produce more work. So definitely, like my aha moments, you could say, was like, earlier on I was painting a lot with AXSUP. Rest in peace, Jared. He's it's been 15 years since he passed, but when in the early days I was painting with him, I was very restricted in my technique of painting, whereas he was definitely like a master of the craft. And he sort of showed me things like blending fades and things like that, and which was an aha moment that sort of changed my style while painting greatly. And then there's other things like in my studio works, like my style or techniques that I use for painting, that's all kind of there from mistakes. Predominantly how I do my painting, like with the sort of abstraction on blending and fading everything together, that's all sort of just found by mistakes. And then I sort of grab that, and then I turn that, created a technique out of it. But then I sort of built a style of painting around the technique and sort of merging the two together. Yeah, definitely. Like the way that my art is now, yeah, Alex Gray is a great influence of like the visionary art. Like he's like one of the OG masters of it, where he's really portraying especially the psychedelic experience. He's portrayed that in his art, really, where you look at it and you're just like, hey, I've seen that before, I've been there. And then funny, like I started painting my style that I'm doing now with the fades, the sharp line fades sort of blending in and out of each other. And then I had experience 6 months after I made it a painting where I was like, the only way I could describe the experience was, I was like, it's like that painting, that painting I did at the time. And then I sort of, just from there, I sort of taken more influence from, you know, these experiences, and even like the, you know, heavily sort of diving deep into different esoteric religions and practices and that, and getting ideas from there and then sort of portraying them in my artwork. Like it's the direction I'm going now. It's kind of like a lot of my new paintings, they start out just like an idea of like an esoteric idea or even like an experience I've had, but then I sort of let them take their own life forms in the process. Like I only go in there with a very basic idea of the painting. So it might just be like the perception of the painting, and then I'll sort of let them take their own life form in the process. Like I just sort of let that come through me as such. I'm not like trying to put too much into it. I try to like just let that come through me. Yeah, a lot of my artwork comes through trying to figure out the life, death, experience, you know, reincarnation and such like that. I meditate on these ideas, and like maybe I'll hear a story, like a story from Buddhism or Hinduism, and then I'll sort of think about that, and then in my own in my own imagination sort of come up with how would that process be, how would it look like as such, or the experience of going through that, and then sort of put that into my artwork. And it's little things like, and you know, being father to two children now, I sort of had been experienced bringing in a new soul into the world, and sort of, you know, gauging it, just that experience and that feeling of that, and sort of trying to paint the picture between the before, and here they are, into the after of the journey as well. The visionary art with graffiti, people that normally do graffiti are they're just open to be themselves. If they're attracted to visionary art, they're gonna persuade that they're not gonna really like have any doubts about it, I think. And graffiti is good. It gives you a set of skills to make art as well. Like no matter who you are, if you're just doing your casual piece or whatever on weekends, you've developed a set of skills that you can make art with, even unintentionally. Like it just gives you a base to work with. And I guess with graffiti and visionary art, you know, they're kind of like the underdogs in the art world, but they're both like probably the most original art forms, or the most exciting art forms out there now. So they can work along each other. Like there are a lot of graffiti writers that do take the visionary path, and I feel they tie together. You know, but it's like the visionary art's definitely not for everyone, but it's there, available. That's been a bit difficult because I have tried to sort of tie the two together, but now I'm really coming back to just enjoying just doing graffiti pieces and stuff like that. And then, you know, when I'm traveling and that, like going to do just big chrome pieces, and then not letting necessarily the graffiti step into the gallery artwork as well. I'm kind of not trying to, you know, do pieces in my gallery artworks. I'm just sort of, leave that for the streets, for, you know, public murals and stuff like that. And then the gallery work, that's just its own thing. Like I just try to, but there was a stage where I was trying to merge the two, but I've kind of just keep them separate. And then, but I am using a lot of gallery techniques in the studio works, sort of but I have brought that into my mural work as well. And then vice versa, there's things I like doing in a mural, like in the streets, but then I'll transfer that to the gallery as well. I'm sharing the techniques, but then I'm trying to keep the style separate, like, because there's a time and place for everything. You go back in the early 2000s, you do a cutback on your piece. That's a cheat. It's cheating, but now it's not. Like I've used whatever's there. Like I was forever trying to limitate myself. I wouldn't even tape up a line or something like that on a street work. But now it's like, stuff's there, just use it. You know, you're going back like, you know, using a projector to sort of sketch up a portrait or something like that. That was frowned upon. But now, like pretty much everyone uses a projector. It's the tools there. It's efficient and easy. I mean, you know, you can use a projector. Even people using VR now to sort of mask up walls and that. But use whatever. It's like all you're doing is just putting lines on a wall. It's like then you got to fill the rest in, and that's where that's where a lot of the challenge is. And so you can't really fake that. Yeah, don't do that with a 2-year-old child. Like that was last variation show took on quite a lot, and having like such a young child, I kind of like it couldn't put the all in effort that I wanted to into that, and but I guess like any advice I could give is like just give it a shot, start small. Like I started doing the exhibitions just out of the pure necessity. I was like, I wanted to put artwork in a show. But I'm not gonna stand around, wait for someone to invite me into a show. I was like, well, yeah, I have friends that make art and I know people that make art. So we asked them if they want to put a painting and just did it. And just, you know, it's easy enough to find a space. You can get spaces for free to put on exhibitions. It's just have a go. Just sort of like have a go, learn from your mistakes. Start small, you know, as long as you're not putting in thousands of dollars that you need to get back from it. It's not like, definitely doing exhibitions is not a way to make money. It's just more so just doing something for the community, putting an art show on, showing what the world, what these artists can do. Some of these artists don't necessarily have the platform to get their works out there, apart from just their own Instagram. But you know, there's nothing like having a gallery open to the public where people walking past come by and see and introduce them to arts they've never seen before. Well, it's something about my own art. It's forever evolving, and so I'll probably have everything done and ready for my own artwork probably the day before I die. So yeah, just watch this space.
Hey, Chino life. Hey, Chino life. Me all hack, been no taps and we go live. Ego no, me no like, you know.